The unexpected departure of Ousmane Dembele might have caused or landed Barcelona more tactical problems than we actually realize. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how this departure of Dembele has changed a lot around Barcelona, and also how we might even have to change our tactics if Barcelona do not replace Ousmane Dembele with a marquee signing like Bernardo Silva. But before we do get into the video, subscribe for more content. We upload 3 times a week. Join the family and like and subscribe, and also let me know your comments. So let's see exactly what I mean by why we might have to change. When we look at Barca's average positioning against Getafe, and again I'm only using this as a template, look at where Rafinha is, literally in the half space. You know for a fact if that was Ousmane Dembele, that guy would have been like straight on that touchline taking on one-on-one. So Rafinha is not good in that, and that is why he's inverting, although he sometimes makes some great runs in that position. But you need to have that winger on that side. That is why I don't understand why Xavi is playing Balde on the left side and he doesn't even go forward. To bring into perspective what I've been saying just about this positioning, if we take that average positioning and place it on this pitch, this is how Barcelona pretty much looked, right? We had Rafa right in the half space over here. What he did there, nobody knows. In actuality, he should have been out here, you know? And Balde, since Pedri is like inverting, Balde should have been right over here on the wing trying to stretch these guys. But no, this was the average positioning. Balde was way back. And if you count nicely, you would see Barcelona actually had 6 guys centrally. 5 to be exact, right? If you don't count Balde and Araujo. It's Oriol, Frenkie, Ilkay, Pedri and Robert Lewandowski. But that made it easy because Getafe had 8 players centrally. If you look at all of these players that they had centrally, it was easy to defend against Barca for Getafe. They didn't have problems keeping us at bay, but Barcelona was way too central. Now, this is where we miss somebody like Ousmane Dembele. Basically, to the fact that because he's so technically gifted, because he's so good in one-on-one situations, we are going to miss that guy. If we want to like it or not, we are going to miss him. Now, just like I said previously in the video, we're going to have to like replace him with a marquee signing, and that's probably going to have to be somebody like Bernardo Silva. Or if you want to go maybe to Gnabry or Kingsley Coman, we have to replace Dembele and get somebody who's good in one-on-one situations like him. That is why I'm a little sad about the Neymar thing, because Neymar is really good, but yeah, I understand why Xavi didn't want him, right? Because of the dressing room and everything. But this is what Barcelona are going to miss Dembele for. Now, how should it be? How should Barcelona play, and why are we going to miss Dembele? That's because he unlocks Robert Lewandowski. He pulls players away from the center. We know how teams defend. They defend very narrow and centrally. But if Dembele is there or somebody like Dembele, they pull guys away, and that gives Robert Lewandowski the space that he needs to operate. We all know that Barcelona wants to have like 5 players centrally, like in the opposition half, to have like a one-on-one. But the thing is, we have a box midfield, and that automatically forces the opposition to defend a little bit narrow. And that Robert Lewandowski cannot drop onto the ball if it's like this, because this area is way too congested, right? If you look at that middle area right there, there's nothing to operate with or to operate in for Robert Lewandowski, right? Because he cannot, because we have too many players centrally. We have to start manipulating the positioning and the starting positions of the opposition, right? And the fact that Barcelona's ball circulation is way too like slow as well doesn't help either. But if you have somebody like Dembele, in this case, I'm not trying to give him flowers or give him trophies, because he actually did a lot of things to make other guys operate better. If you had Dembele, teams know that he's great, right? He's at least going to draw 2 people, and you can see immediately you have space now to run in for guys like Pedri and Robert Lewandowski, right? You know how many underlapping runs we have seen from the likes of Xavi and Pedri because of Ousmane Dembele? Have you seen that in the preseason? Have you seen that against Getafe? You don't see that because nobody is pulling away these guys from the center. That is just one small difference, right? Especially when the ball gets like switched to Dembele to this side as well. How many times does he beat somebody and we don't get that from Rafinha. But now the question is begs, how do we replace Dembele if we don't how do we change the system if we don't replace Ousmane Dembele? How is Barca going to do that? And I have one solution for us. That solution is to use the fullbacks, but then That cannot happen if we do sacrifice a little bit of defensive cover and defensive personnel. We might have to leave some players on the bench, but then again, we're going to have a lot more quality and cover on the bench. Of course, if you want to make something like this work, there's going to be a lot of sacrifices that you're going to have to factor in and stick out, right? Because if you look at the right back position, we're going to have to choose a natural right back in that position, because I don't want Araujo or Koundé to stride forward. You saw what happened in the box, right? But let's just be patient. Maybe Barca will sign Joao Cancelo, and then I would pick Araujo and Koundé to be my centre backs, right? Those are our two best centre backs, even though they're not great on the ball like Christensen, right? And then we might have to leave two of our good or great midfielders on the bench, maybe like Xavi and Gundogan. You might see Pedri and Xavi on the bench. You might see Frankie and Pedri, or whatever the case may be, because two of them will have to be on the bench for this, right? However, because personally I would pick Ansu Fati, but this that I'm suggesting, you might be able to pick like 4 midfielders for this instance, right? Now here's the thing, seeing that Rafa and Ansu Fati likes to invert, why not just let them invert in the first place? Then you have Robert Lewandowski coming forward, and then that guy is going to be your number 9, your top striker, right? And then you give Balde the license to go forward completely, Why does he stay so back? Just let him go forward, and then you have Sergio Roberto in this case, but maybe like somebody like Joao Cancelo. Then you have Fati and Rafinha very close to the box where they could actually take shots, right? And then you have Pedri a little bit deeper, you have Frankie a little bit deeper, and Oriol, of course. This is how Barca is going to look, right? So Barcelona still have their natural shape, 2-3-5. We've seen this before, right? But in this case, we just have the guys in the half spaces. Now, you might think that Pedri is a little bit too deep, but I think he can actually dictate play a little better from deep positions, and he's the guy that has to find Rafa and Robert Lewandowski, switch to Sergi. But if he's more forward, other players would have to find him then, and that is not what you want, right? However, Barcelona can still have this actually 5 players in midfield, and then you don't have to have that box anymore. You actually have Oriol, Frankie, Pedri, Rafa, and Ansu Fati in the mid phase or in centrally. So now you have 5 guys centrally, but at the same time you're keeping the width, right? You have Balde and you have the Sergio Roberto on the other side. You still have the width. And then Robert Lewandowski can operate, right? So now the thing is, Barcelona at times might be a little bit defensively fragile in this case, but if you want to have that back 3, you can easily just have Frankie de Jong slide into this back system. But more importantly, I think a better thing would be, then you have Oriol Romeo right there, and then you can still have that midfield box in midfield. However, to make the system work is going to take a lot of talk and get these guys to perform at a high level. But this is how I would change the system if I was Xavi. Have these guys play this way, Oriol most of the time. And, against bigger teams, we might have to take a goal or two, concede a goal or two. But those games are going to be more open, right? Rafa is going to flourish in those games. But against team that sits deep, we need to find a way like this to keep with guys and at the same time. So that would be my go-to system if I was somebody like Xavi managing Barcelona. So that is what I think Barcelona should do. We're going to have to sacrifice a lot of guys to get this done, but this is going to make rotation easier. Imagine having somebody like Christensen coming off the bench. If we rotate, Araujo coming off the bench. If you look at the midfield, the same thing. Varane coming off the bench, Xavi coming off the bench, Gundogan coming off the bench. This is going to make rotation a lot easier for Barcelona, But let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about this system that I've suggested, right? What do you think about Barcelona losing Ousmane Dembele? Is going to hurt us? Is going to be better for us? What do you think? Do let me know down in the comment section, as I always get new inspiration for videos from a lot of you guys. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting and liking the video. Thank you for being a Barca fan, sticking with the team, even though sometimes it's really hard to be a Barca fan at times. Nobody likes you. People want to make fun of you. But thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.